In this lesson, we are going to cover using variable address tables for monitoring and modifying data within the controller. I do have my program downloaded into PLC Sim. I am going to open up my main program block, OB1, and I will start monitoring. So the first network, I1.0, will turn on Q1.0. So in PLC Sim, if I toggle my I1.0 bit on, that will turn on the output Q1.0. Turn that off. Now I will minimize the ladder editor. I will select my blocks folder and right-click and insert new object. And I will select variable table. I will give my variable table a name, and I will call it VAT demo. I will open up the VAT table. I will select my view menu option and select zoom in just to make it a little bit easier to see. In the VAT tables, I like to insert comments to document what I am doing. So I'm going to select the insert menu and pick comment line. So after the two slashes, I can enter in whatever comment I want. So I'm just going to put in input and output. I'm going to insert the address I1.0, which is an input. I will also enter in the address Q1.0. I will put my glasses on to start monitoring. Now I can see the status of my logic. I will bring my ladder editor into the foreground. Put my glasses on to start monitoring. Bring the VAT table forward. And now I will toggle the input. So you can see the status update inside the VAT table. I will stop monitoring in the VAT table. I'll insert another comment line. And I will say clock byte. I will enter in the address of the clock byte that is configured in the CPU. This is a byte value where the bits just cycle on and off at different frequencies. So I'll put in MB1 several times. You can also type in the actual symbol names. There is a display format column, so I inserted the clock byte in 4 times. The first row for the clock byte is going to be displayed in hexadecimal. The second row, I'm going to right-click on the data type and select binary. The third entry for the clock byte, I will right-click on data type and select decimal. And for the last entry, I will right-click and select character. I will put the glasses on in the watch table, and now I can see the clock byte is updating with different values. So that data is moving very fast. I'm going to turn the glasses off. I do have the ability to do one-shot reads. So there's a pair of glasses with a 1 by it. When I press that, it will do a one-shot read. I will insert another comment line. And I will insert a range of values this time. I will right-click on row 10 and pick Insert Range of Variables. So you can insert a starting address like Q8.0 as an example, and I will insert 3 bit values. Set the display format to be Boolean. So I'll click OK. So now that's going to insert Q8.0 through Q8.2. I will put my glasses on to start modifying. I do not have any logic that is in the program that is writing to Q8.0, 8.1, or 8.2. So in the modify value column, I can enter in say a 1 for true for the red light, and 1 for true for the yellow light. The values have not been written to the controller at this point. There is an icon that looks like a lightning bolt with a 1 by it. This is a one-shot write into the controller. Think of it as being an HMI. So when I press the one-shot write, that writes the two values of true to Q 8.0 and 8.1, and I can see that over here in PLC Sim that those two bits were turned on. Put in a 0 for false, and do another one-shot write and reset those values. I will insert another comment line, and this will be for dB value. For the address field here, I will insert a data block address. It's going to be db3.dbw2. I'll change the display format to be decimal. So if I wanted to write a value into that address, I can type in a value of 10, select my one-shot write. And now I just wrote a value of 10 into the element in db3 at data block word at starting byte address 2. I'm going to turn monitoring off. I'm going to select the clock icon with a pencil. This is for configuring the variable trigger. You have different condition points for modifying, and you can also modify by a one-shot write, or you can do it every PLC scan. If I select every scan and write at the beginning of the scan cycle, I would be able to replace the input values that would be coming in with the input values that I would want to use in the process image input table for the program. If I select end of scan, this would allow me to replace what the logic is telling an output value to do. I will select every cycle and pick end of scan cycle so that I can overwrite an output value. I'll select OK. I will come up to Q 1.0. I will put in a 1 for true. I will activate monitoring. And there's a lightning bolt here. This is going to modify values based on the trigger condition. So I will select the lightning bolt, and then I will get prompted saying that I will be intervening with the process. Do I want to continue with the modify? I will say yes. And when I do that, you don't see that value show up in logic because the value you could say is being written directly out to the card. So it's not going into the process image output table. So you can see the output address is actually on in PLC Sim, but you do not see that in logic. I will stop the modification process, go offline, and I will change my variable trigger to be the beginning of the scan. And we'll do every cycle again. I'll select OK. I'll get rid of this value here for the output. Now I will put in a value of 1 for the input. I will start monitoring. I will activate the modify variable command based off the trigger. And I will say yes that I want to modify. In this case, you will see the value updated in logic, and you will also see that in PLC Sim. So this value, you could say, is being written in between the card being read and the value being put into the process image input table. So that's why you see this input value showing up in logic. I will stop the modification process and turn off the monitoring. So this modification of every cycle is only valid while you have an online connection with the controller. So this is technically not forcing, because force jobs reside in the controller. In this lesson, we covered using variable address tables to monitor and modify values in the controller.